Wait and see. You know, when you can't predict the future, that can be a good strategy. But wait and see isn't always a good strategy when it comes to your retirement. In these uncertain times, the decisions you make today regarding your savings and investments can have a huge impact on your retirement. Phillip Statler and the team at Statler Financial have seen the market at its highs, its lows, and everywhere in between. They know how emotional it can be for you right now. So here's what they're doing. They're clearing their schedule to talk with you on the phone or on a video call to listen to what concerns you have and then offer help. The number to call is 863-285-3815. They are local and independent advisors who can help guide you through this. Call Phillip Statler and the Statler Financial team now. 863-285-3815 and schedule your time for a phone or a video meeting with the team. Call 863-285-3815. That's 863-285-3815. Investment advisory services offered through Statler Financial Services, Inc. Investing involves risk, including
there for a second. Yesterday was party time on Wall Street. The Dow was up 332 points. Not quite an all-time record, but 31,055 is within a smidgen of being a new record. Standard & Poor's did cross into new record territory, up 41.5, and the NASDAQ crossed into new record territory, too, up 167 points. We start the morning out at 13,777 and change. Now, I would normally expect this to be a good profit-taking day after good numbers like that, but then we start out with an unemployment report because this is one of the big days of the month in which the government dumps some data on us that affects everybody. And I don't really have a lot of good news except for the actual percentage rate. We were expecting to add 50,000 items to the payroll, ended up with 49,000. That's close, but then the government ended up revising the December job losses from 140,000 jobs lost to 227,000 jobs lost. And I got to think that if I were investing in manufacturing stocks, I'd be thinking twice this morning. Wouldn't you, Phillip?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm thinking that's a pretty big correction, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, it's down by like 40% from what they originally said, or an increase of like 40% from what they thought. And December was a big disappointment to begin with. Now all of a sudden it becomes jump off the building level disappointment, doesn't it?
Yeah, it makes you wonder what would have happened to the markets had that been put out there when it actually occurred instead of later after the markets have kind of rebounded some.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing that I mentioned, the percentage number, and this is where you and I will probably be scanning when the government releases it, the U6, the total unemployment rate, because with all that crappy news on the actual numbers, the unemployment rate for the country that we're going to hear quoted over and over again on the top of the hour news went down from 6.7% last month to 6.3% this month, which kind of means we've had some people that got the shaft early in the pandemic, now entering the discouraged worker force because we didn't add enough in order to have 0.4 of a point down, did we?
No, we sure didn't. I mean, that's a big reduction considering the change in December and this year and so far this year. So that's it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out in the marketplace today.
Yeah, it absolutely will. And as I said, you look at the percentage rate itself, the top of the hour news on the headline service is going to be saying unemployment rate is down. Everything's great. Don't worry about it. We're getting better. And then you look at the actual numbers and go, holy crud. The actual number of jobs added for the last 60 days has pretty much been indelicately put, El Stinko.
Yeah, you're right. It really has been. It's but I'm looking at delayed quotes probably like you are right now because I don't have access to the other ones. But it does seem like there is, it doesn't seem to be affecting them right now anyway.
My news ticker just said that the gains were being trimmed, but it doesn't say it took a U-turn and headed south. And it does look like our record closes from yesterday. If things hold, we might actually improve on them this morning at the opening because I'm looking at green ink as well on the futures up ahead of time. Anything that you got from companies reporting their earnings for the quarter that might push us one way or the other this morning?
Well, I will say that we do have quite a few. As soon as, my technology, Dave, I apologize today. My Yeah. So I'm going to do some pricing. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me. I got Skechers
Hmm.
who missed on earnings and revenue, so they're getting beat up this morning, pretty bad. They're down about almost 7.5% this morning. So not not good news for them at all as we get ready to start the day. And then we've got Peloton. So Peloton has got some issues. They beat on earnings. They beat on revenue. I don't know if you remember, but they're supposed to be coming out with this new treadmill that they're working on, but they're putting that kind of on hold right now because they're having some shipping issues and they're not getting the product out quick enough to the customer. And so even though they beat across the board on their metrics, they're trading down today about 6.5% because of that.
I saw them on one of the headlines that came across that they were getting beat up on the market, and I was wondering what they'd done. I mean, that's a premium level home fitness gear company, and it's kind of a selective market, at least my stereotype. I was seeing it as being a business conditions indicator, but more its internal shipping problems, huh?
Yeah, that seems to be the indication there is they just can't get their stuff shipped out, which is, let's face it, that's not a good sign. So
No.
they got to get that fixed before they can really move forward.
Understood. I've got a whole bunch of really interesting winners and losers that I'm seeing on the pre-market list this morning, and I don't know whether it's sensitive based upon reports overnight or not, but Estee Lauder is going through the roof this morning, I noticed. Were they one of the reports that you saw come across the wire?
Yeah, they were. They had a good quarter. They've been helped significantly by sales in Asia have increased, as well as their online sales here. So they're benefiting from that. They beat on earnings and on revenue, and they're up 5.5, a little over 5.5% this morning, getting close to their 52-week high.
Cool. They're not a cheap stock either. They're $266 a share.
Yeah, no, they you're right. They're not cheap at all, and so they continue to like I said, they could open at a new 52-week high today.
Understood. Other indicators we got for the morning that you found so far?
Well, I've got my page that has my notes on. It's not coming up, but I know Ford beat and their new CEO that's been, I think he's been on the job for 4 or 5 months now. And he came out and said that he's working and will come out in the next couple months with a whole new plan for Ford and what direction they're going to go. They must have liked what he had to say, and as well as the earnings and stuff. So they're up 4.3%. Because I think if I remember right on that one, they were expected to lose money and for the quarter, and they actually made money for the quarter.
Cool. I'm finding it interesting the way the investors are responding to both of the major car manufacturers, both Ford and GM, saying that they were planning on moving their lines to almost exclusively electric vehicles in the future. The guys with the big pickup trucks are kind of yawning, but investors seem to like the concept, don't they?
Yeah, well, I guess they do, because I think that's going to be with all the green stuff coming up and the new administration and their carbon reduction strategies and some of that stuff. I think that's they're getting pushed that way pretty hard.
It sounds that way. Let's reset the table for the morning. Up day on all three of the major indexes yesterday. As a matter of fact, both Standard & Poor's and NASDAQ set new records. I've got my futures in front of me, Phillip. If you don't, I can fill them in this morning, 45 minutes before we really start trading this morning.
I've got them right now, Dave. We do have the S&P 500 up about 1%. The NASDAQ's up about 1.25%. And the Dow Jones is up about 1% this morning before we get going. So some good news there as we get ready to start. And then I'm trying to see if I can find the other. I can't find my commodities on here, Dave, on this new system. So I'm not sure exactly where the commodities are this morning.
I got them sitting here, and they're delayed quotes, but they were. Gold is up by about 1/3%, up to just shy of $1,800 an ounce. Silver is up by 1.87%. It's showing up at, let's see here, 26.73 announced. Looks to me like the day traders are still playing with that a little bit. Crude oil this morning is way up. It's bumping its nose on 57 this morning, Phillip. It's up 0.9% to 56.74 a barrel already. Now we can start complaining about too high prices, can we?
Yeah, I'm afraid that we may be seeing gas prices heading towards $3 a gallon, Dave.
Shush you. But I can't argue with the possibility either. Phillip, it's a weird time in the marketplace. We're trying to track stuff going down. We got people playing meme trades and whatnot on short squeezes, and it's getting harder and harder to figure out how to make money. Take somebody with a neutral point of view. How do I find you to look at my portfolio and make sure I'm risk-free where I need to be?
You know, Dave, I had a couple of conversations lately about people afraid of how high the market is. And don't let that discourage you. As long as your portfolio lines up with your risk number and your risk tolerance, you should be okay. Give us a call at 863-382-0037 to determine what that number is so we can find a portfolio that will match that, and you won't be surprised by the downturns in the market. So, and then join us this weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk 730.
And then back again here on Monday morning, hopefully with some good news from the weekend on Light FM. Phillip, thank you so much. Have a good day, and may the internet start to love you again.
All right, man. Take care.
Thanks a lot. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services. Phillip Statler.
Wait and see. You know, when you can't predict the future, that can be a good strategy. But wait and see isn't always a good strategy when it comes to your retirement. In these uncertain times, the decisions you make today regarding your savings and investments can have a huge impact on your retirement. Phillip Statler and the team at Statler Financial have seen the market at its highs, its lows, and everywhere in between. They know how emotional it can be for you right now. So here's what they're doing. They're clearing their schedule to talk with you on the phone or on a video call to listen to what concerns you have and then offer help. The number to call is 863-285-3815. They are local and independent advisors who can help guide you through this. Call Phillip Statler and the Statler Financial team now. 863-285-3815 and schedule your time for a phone or a video meeting with the team. Call 863-285-3815. That's 863-285-3815. Investment advisory services offered through Statler Financial Services, Inc. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.